Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of today's episode of Roleplay Far Verona. Let's just pick up where we left off. I was tempted to be like, and then meanwhile, somewhere else, but let's let this happen. So, Noemi, you were standing in the chapel, you were on your way out, you were standing before the chapel doors that will lead back out into the ship, and on the back of its baroquely designed wooden paneled door, scratched roughly into the very expensive wood, is the word Verona. And and you have just watched some invisible hand carve this in with like the blade of a knife or something. But there's clearly nothing here. It's not someone physically doing this. The letters are like, I don't know, like a meter tall, splayed across the back of the door.
Okay. Do I like return to normal, or do I just like stay? Like, is this subsiding at all?
The dizziness, the whining, that whole thing, like it fades away, and you're aware of the chaplain standing beside you.
Okay, yeah. And I don't see like the thing scratched in the door anymore.
Right, it fades.
Okay, cool. So I keep like staring at the door, kind of like processing what just happened. And I don't turn around fully, but I kind of like look over my shoulder a little bit, and I just say, "I'm sorry, Chaplain, I'm not feeling well. I think I'll return to my quarters." And I like go to walk out.
Very well, Ceres. If you need anything, let me know, and be sure to mention to the lieutenant what we discussed. Watch her go.
I don't say anything else. I just keep walking and leave.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So you walk out into the hallway, and you want to head back to your room?
Yeah. Would I know anything about like what happened? Is this something that I've heard of happening to other people?
I mean, it feels like you can kind of decide. You're a scientist. You're a doctor, right? You have the
Right.
medicine skill. You can kind of diagnose yourself if you want. Make an intelligence and heal check.
Okay. 9.
Okay. All right. So here's what happens. Yes, you get an okay idea of what's going on, but also there's a complication. So you're walking in the hall, you're focused on like what's going on, like what was that? What happened? You're taking your meds on time. Maybe you need to like reassess the dosage, but like you're not prone to. I mean, maybe are you? Were you prone to hallucinations if you don't take your medicine?
I don't know. I think this is probably the first time that's happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's probably not that. You don't have a history of hallucination. I imagine you got a medical scan recently, because it's a thing that I'm sure serpents would be all over, and you don't have like brain cancer or anything. There's no reason to think that you would be experiencing hallucinations, but there you are, auditory and visual, and it didn't seem like the chaplain saw or heard any of that. And while you were ruling things out and kind of thinking this over, I guess you can ask me a question or two if you want, if there's information that you want specifically.
No, I guess like my thinking is that I would go and like go back to my room and then make a call to my father, who works at the Imperial Academy of Psionic Learning and Wellness.
Nice.
To be like,
so while
hey,
you're making this plan, you are so focused on that you come around a corner and you do not dodge fast enough to avoid running into someone. So someone crashes into you. You feel something like splash all over the front of you. You hear like a splashing as something falls to the floor, and you see a woman who she immediately like drops to her knees to start like picking up the things she's dropped. She's also covered in paint. The front of you is covered in this like luminous kind of like glowing paint, and there are paint vial like jars all over the floor. And you look down and you see Lyra Lynn Nicola, and she is like, "Oh God, Oh, I'm so sorry, Cirrus. I'm so sorry. And she's like trying to clean up the like paint that she dropped on the floor. Her tray is like off to one side. She wasn't paying any attention where she was going either. What do you do?
Is she a noble?
Yes, she is.
Okay, yeah, cool. So I like kind of don't say anything at first because I'm just like my brain is in like a whole other place right now, thinking about what just happened to me, and I kind of stand there for a second, and then I'm just like, I snap out of it, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And I like kneel down to like kind of help her like pick up the stuff.
Okay.
And,
Of
like,
all of
help
the
her
ways
collect
that you
everything.
could have possibly responded, like it went through her head that you would like shoot her in the face or kick her or kill her with your mind.
Noemi would
But, like,
never do that.
Right. But apologizing and helping her
Mm.
clean up were not on that list. So she just
Mhm.
stares at you with these big lavender eyes in her pale face, and she just looks at you like, what's happening right now? Oh God.
Yeah, I'm just like I'm not. I don't notice that. I'm just like helping her collect all her shit so that I can leave.
Okay. And yeah, and she like looks at you and kind of snaps out of it, and she says, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Your outfit is ruined, and I really need to pay more attention to where I'm going. I'm sorry. And she like finishes like gathering stuff up. The floor is still covered in paint. Her hands and her clothes are covered in paint. In it, she's made it worse. She's got a big like neon pink like streak on her face where she tried to like wipe it off and just made it worse. She stands up with her tray of like discarded paints, and she looks at you, and she stops, and her effect changes, and she says, "Are you okay?"
I was kind of like staring at this like tray of paint that she's holding, and then when she says that, I again kind of like have this moment where I like snap out of it, and then I look up at her, and I'm just like, yes, I am okay. Thank you. Do you need me to help replace these paints?
No, they're kind of hard to don't worry about that. That's not important. I just you just looked upset about something is all.
No. I just need to make a call. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
No. If no, nothing. I'm sorry again, Cirrus. I'll. She kind of like trails off, like muttering apologetically.
Mhm. So then I like as she's holding this like tray, I kind of reach out and like touch her arm, and I just say,
Okay, she dies. She dies. She just dies instantly. She just her ghost leaps from her
Collapses.
body and flies into space. She immediately goes
Sweet.
to heaven. You have killed her. She is dead.
Cool.
But really though,
I'm gonna-
she just tenses up.
Yeah.
Looks down.
And I just say, I say, honestly, no apology needed. I wasn't watching where I was going. I'm very sorry. Will you excuse me? And I just kind of like start to walk away.
Yeah, and she just stands there. She turns around and follows you with her eyes as you leave. And she's
I don't look back.
nods. Yeah. She's kind of nods. and
Noemi
we
is
stay with,
having a freak out moment.
yeah, we stay with her for a second, and she just kind of like nods, and then shakes her head, and we see a look of like determination, like she's just made a decision come across her face, and then she walks off in the opposite direction.
Cool. I'm gonna go straight to my room or whatever.
Okay. So, meanwhile, Kiran, you have just had an awkward conversation with your aunt. What are you gonna do?
Cry? No, we're not
Okay.
gonna cry.
Right. Is that where we find you, or just like sobbing into your?
No. I think yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, with where my character is at right now, she would probably take her aunt's advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been mulling it over, and I'm sufficiently scared, I guess, is what I will say.
Okay.
And she's never spoken to me like that before. So her whole commentary about how I need to grow up, some of that stuck. Because I'm starting to realize the stakes are higher than I thought they were. So yeah.
Okay.
Just kind
Right.
of mulling where I was when we first found me in the bar, mulling over a glass of whiskey, figuring out.
So we find you in a much busier. We find you in a much busier version of the Just Desserts than the last time that we saw it. There are like tables of people who are sitting and talking after their shift, and it looks like the first of the shuttles to pick up the people who are on the sad songs have like started to arrive. Like a Valen replacement vehicle has come to like pick them up and continue on their journey. And so there's this kind of sense of like, okay, we're all starting to get momentum again. The ship is going to leave. And so these people who have kind of like made friends or whatever are saying their goodbyes and spending time in the bar. So yeah, you're here. You got a drink. You got your data pad.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing? What do we see?
I'm kind of like flipping through articles, but not really. And I send a message to what am I going to call her this time? Elizabeth.
Okay.
Asking her to maybe make some of her famous saffron cakes and send them to my aunt.
Yeah, so we have this moment where like the
session.
soundtrack is kind of like anxious, and you think of something that might cheer you up or help you feel better, and so you send this message to your servant. It's like, hey, make that food that I like. I'm having a bad day, and you send it, and we cut over to your quarters, and she's on her knees in front of your bathtub, fucking scrubbing your boots.
She's still scrubbing my boots?
Yeah, so we hear this like this beep go off, and she looks up. She like wipes grease on her face and gets up and walks over to her data pad and like kind of picks it up with her like clean hand, looks at it, sees the message. She like rolls her eyes and she's like, "Puta madre!" And she like drops it on the floor, like turns around and goes back to like scrubbing your boots with anger, cleaning your boots as hard as she can. Cut back to you. So what are you doing here? You're just gonna hang out and be angry, or
yeah, and
confused
also
or sad?
probably
What are you
like
doing?
go over the information again, and like probably especially that first part where it says from a friend, and yeah, probably just sit there flipping through it, trying to figure out why somebody would send this to me, and trying to figure out, like, on one hand, Kieran has decided she's not going to pursue this any further, at least for now. On the other hand, she's trying to figure out why she was scared away from pursuing it, or what she, like what the worst part of it. Well, not that. She's in a reflective state. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
She's in a very reflective state right now.
All right.
And
So
she's a little
is there
bit of a
anything that you
crossroads.
want? Yeah, is there anything you want to do? Do you come to a conclusion sitting here drinking?
Yeah. You see her hand kind of hover over the data file, and you just see her like delete it, turn the data pad off.
Okay.
And then like put the data pad down and just focus on her drink.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we see you bring up the little hologram of the STO logo and crumple it up and put it in the trash. And and then there's like your shoulders slump a little. There's this like feeling of relief because whatever happens, it's out of your hands now. You don't have to worry about it. You made your decision. Okay, cool. All right, good. So I think I'm trying to think of like what y'all have to, if there's anything you have to do before the ship leaves. Like I think we can probably go right into the journey to this place. Noemi, you want to send a message before you leave, and I think Valencio does too, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
So that
say
you would
I
get
don't know.
an order on your way back.
Yeah, I don't. With Noemi heading off, she seemed kind of distracted. I think like Valencio might kind of message her like with like a text message or an email and just say, "Do you want me to speak to Yancey or something like that. Like, hope you recover or something like that. Just to see if she wants me to do it while she is distracted.
Yeah.
It would just be a courtesy.
Right. So I would like say that yes, like he could talk to the chaplain, and then I would just send a thing ahead to Yancey to be like, the chaplain's going to talk to you about a thing. He already talked to me about it. We're
So
Gucci.
good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if we don't have to, you don't have to interact with Yancey. You can just put in the request.
Okay.
And I think, I mean, a request. So, how do you phrase it, Nomi? What do you put in your request to? How do you put in your request to Yancey? Like, how much do you tell him?
I tell him that the chaplain has requested a whatever the channel is called to communicate with the church in order to request that someone signs the order. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like much else that I would need to tell him.
Yeah, so you just tell him like, hey, for us to get this done, we need a secure channel. Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah, I don't think let's have you make a roll. Make an administrate roll with charisma. He's not gonna say no. I just want to know if he like follows up.
Okay.
I want to know if this is just like, oh, okay, stamp, move on, or if he's like,
5.
Okay, all right. So he'll remember that you made this request, and it's something that when he comes across his desk, he's like, all right, but we'll have a conversation about this later. Okay, so Yancey. Okay, all right. So I think Chaplain, you are in your quarters. Some hours after your meeting with Yancey, when your comms device chimes and it blinks with a purple light indicating an internal, like a crux. Someone like from the officer corps or like one of the departments is getting in contact with you.
Okay. I put Deus Vault my shotgun away after cleaning it, slide it under the bed, and then I go up and be like, activate the call. Chaplain Valencio.
Yeah. And so you hear a man's voice on the other side. Chaplain, I've got a secure line for you.
Ah, thank you. I will. I'm assuming that I will can direct it as I require. There is a very specific address I need to send the communication to.
Of course, Chaplain. As soon as you're done, the line will decrypt and destroy itself. So, no need to follow up.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay. You hear a couple of clicks, and then the space equivalent of a dial tone. You hear like hologram asking you for the comms information that you want to put in.
Excellent. Yeah, I will put in an old code from my days before I became an official chaplain, back when I worked with the siblings. And when it clicks in, I like the idea of like I have to put like a code phrase in for it to be kind of registered. And I just, it'll basically is like a coded phrase of something like, we must be ever persistent and expend all effort and attention in keeping ourselves and others to the true path. And that's like a little code phrase.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a combination of like voice modulation, recognizing your own voice, saying the correct phrase, to like lock in give you access to the comms communication system. Okay, cool.
This is an sibling.
Okay, so this is you have the opportunity to record a message. I guess the question is, who are you? Tell me who you're getting in touch with here. Like, what's this person on the other end of the line?
So I like to think this is probably one of his old, one of the people that would send him on these kind of secret missions for the church. Like this is somebody that can kind of expedite things and get, could put in requests for supplies or put in, I need transport to this place, but I need it to be under the radar. This is the Black Ops kind of, request line of I need this thing for what I'm doing.
All right. So this is it's a message box rather than like, because you're not talking to anyone
It could
on
be a
this ship
person.
or on it. Well, I mean, it would have to be someone on Hyra if that was the case,
Right, okay.
because you can't real time comms out system.
Mhm.
And I
Could it
assume that you're going
be-
to use. I assume you're using this line for two things, right? Because you've got your own
Yeah.
agenda.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Would there be like, I'm guessing on Hyra, because Crux and the church work so closely together, there could be a pretty high up person in the church here, right?
Yeah. There's churches on every planet in the Empire, and on Hyra particularly. Yep.
I don't know. What do you think it should? Should it be just like a Dropbox, or I don't know? What do you think is better for the game?
It's up to you if you want to have like a real time conversation with someone. You also want to comms ahead to Berkman, right? So
Yeah, it's
you're
kind of
basically
like
just filing the paperwork. So I think you can record a
Okay.
record a single like a message and send it into the network.
Yeah. So yeah, in that case, I'll record the message then and send it over.
Okay.
So yeah, when it dials through, I will basically say, I'm trying to think what this is going to be now.
Yeah.
Just be, this is Gabriel. I am requesting the signage of an excommunication document for a terrorist involved in pro-synth activities and for threats against the High Church and the Empire. I request this with the Grand Voice as part of the Seventh Siblings matter. I'm also delivering a report. The terrorist Alexander Karsten was captured, and I performed an interrogation personally. There are plans by the DSF on Berkman. The exact nature of the threat is unknown, but the church should be aware that something is happening on the planet. There is also a triangulum agent, Florencio Jalan. He is really a Cygnus, and he is working with some ability to reprogram synths. They should be treated as the highest possible matter. I would also like to report on that the one known as Booker Greaves is still undergoing investigation, but I believe that he is not a threat to the Empire as currently stands. But my investigation continues, and then I'll just sign off, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So you pass along the information about
DRF,
what you've learned about Berkman. Yeah,
same
with
thing.
DRF. And and then let them know that like, yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Booker. He seems okay for now, but we'll see.
Yeah,
and then the request for the order. Okay, all right. So let's have you make a connect roll.
Oh, yay.
So rather than connect to a specific person, let's have you make a connect roll generally to like the church hierarchy.
The church and
And we'll
stuff,
see
because
if
they
you
might
can-
want something back.
Yeah, see if you can.
And is
give
this
it
with charisma?
It would be with charisma, yes.
But ha!
Oh boy,
Yeah.
that is a 1 and
Bad
a 2.
roll.
Oh, that is. Okay, all
I'll
right.
re-roll it.
So, I mean, I
Nice rolls.
think that. So what happens is you finish your message and you press the button, and we cut over to the Crux like comms room. And it's literally just like the comms officer with their like headphones on, listening to you talk, and Yancey standing behind him, watching a screen,
classic.
and like nodding, like, So he listens to the whole thing, and then the comms officer turns to Yancey and is like, "Should we put it through, sir?" And Yancey nods. And he says,
It's that excommunication.
Yeah, exactly, right? He nods and he says, yes, but put a flag on everything in and out for Valencio. Keep an eye on him. And we see the comms officer like pull up your profile and just like tick a box, little purple box, and then close the file. Yeah, you just got yourself put on a list. You didn't say anything bad yet, but we'll see. Cool. Okay. And then Yancey just nods like, and walks off. And we fade out on that scene.
Yeah, I just need to make sure that I stay valuable.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're you're an information leak, but Okay, well let's figure out how long it takes. Let's figure out how long it takes for you to get to Berkman, because that's the next place the ship is going, and it'll give you some time on the ship to do things. There is an all hands notification, like, all right, everybody, get your shit together. We're leaving for Berkman in 24 hours. And the ship begins heading away from Hyra off to the edge of the system. So let's see here. Base travel time. We're moving within a region. So a ship around orbit from one planet to the rim of the system is a base of 48 hours. So it would take 2 days normally. 48 to the edge of the system. And then you'll divide all your time by 3. You have a rank 3 drive, which means, God, math. I'm going to write this down so the next time we know exactly how much. So it's 48 hours divided by 3, 16 hours to get to the edge of the system. And that will allow you to jump out of this system into another. And inter-system spike drills take... See, we don't need to roll. There's no chance of the ship like jumping into the black hole or whatever. 6 days per hex traveled divided by the spike drill rating. So 2 days per hex traveled, and you will go from Ellis to Parathere to Aaliyah to Satsos and then to Halesko. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes total. Right. And that is 12 days, I think, if my math is correct. 6 divided by 3 times 5. Yeah. So 16 hours to get out, and then just under 2 weeks of actual travel before you arrive in the Halesko system, which is the home of Berkman 3. So you've got like the rest of the month, right? It's March 21st now. You have until the beginning of April, basically, now to like do stuff on the ship. Noemi, before you make that final jump, as you're reaching, like, as you start heading out towards the edge of the system, you have time to send any last communications that you want to send. You'll get, if they respond, you'll get your responses in about 12 days. Noemi, what do you want to do? You said you wanted to call home.
Yeah, I wanted to contact my dad and explain to him what happened.
Okay.
But I wanted to explain it to him under the guise of it being someone on the ship and not me.
Right, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
What would you do? Okay, yeah, so you have like an
So
unusual
we have
diagnosis.
this person on our ship.
Yeah, that's cute. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're trying to be deceptive. So let's have you roll to see if
Okay.
Dad like sees through your
Yeah,
bullshit. Yeah,
Right.
like, well, if I were the father of such a patient, this is what I would say. Like, yeah, okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's have you roll, because it's a lie, but it's a medical lie. So why don't you roll heal and charisma, I guess?
Okay.
Yeah.
13.
Take that, Dad.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no way. Your response
Nice.
will likely be something like interesting case, etc.,
Yeah.
etc. Like he won't know that you're talking about yourself. You do a good
Sick.
job hiding that. Okay, cool. All right. So you detail like your experience and then tell him that it's like somebody else had this happen.
Yeah, I want him to like kind of reach out to who he knows to see if there's like something similar, like any similar cases.
So
They-
we haven't done a ton of like travel time stuff in this Stars Without Number game. So what I'm gonna do, and this is something I did in Swan Song, is I'm gonna just keep track of who I owe letters to, like who's supposed to get responses to what.
Mm.
So let me open a post office document here. Okay, so Chaplain Valencio, you sent a message to like Black Ops Church Command.
Yeah, basically.
Right, whatever the like Templar. I'm sure there's like a high
The
church name
seventh.
for your like
Well,
badass.
yeah.
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 Okay,
The
so
seventh.
send a message to them, and it was like requesting an excommunication order for
generic
Triangulum Marlowe.
Mhm. Oh, and then
Uh,
warning about Berkman.
Yes, yeah, and then you sent them info about Berkman.
Yup.
Okay, so they will have some time to prepare. Okay, all right. So the only response required would be like whether or not it's approved, the
Mhm.
order for the thing. Okay, all right. And then Nomi, you sent a message to Hroa regarding visions, hallucinations to Papa Ka. What's your dad's first name?
Soren, Soren.
That's such a good name. Does he have a like a title?
Nominator.
Nominator? Okay, cool. Nominator Soren. Okay, cool. Good. All right. Huron and Booker, do you have letters that you need to send? And this would be an in-universe like ritual, a thing that everybody does, where you get the notification from the ship that's like, we're leaving in 16 hours, send last messages, and everybody like piles up their messages and we fire them off to the nearest outsystem mailbox, basically. So Booker, do you have anybody that you send messages to?
Nope.
Okay.
Nobody cares about Booker.
Aw.
Okay.
I care about.
I don't mean.
Booker.
I mean that sounds sad, but like it, just how it is.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Booker's relationship with his family is a little strained right now on account of some expensive payments recently made.
It's less.
What
It's
about
less.
you,
Nobody
Amira-
cares about
Amira?
Booker, and more like this is how it is. Booker's he's alive. He's doing stuff. If he dies, we'll find out.
In light of my last conversation with my aunt, I'll probably kind of like send off a message to my mom and be like, hey, going off on a little assignment. Stop sending me so many messages. I'm not a kid anymore. I can take care of myself.
Right. Okay. Do you have a name? Do you have a name for your mom?
I hadn't thought of one. I should think
Okay.
of
What's her?
one.
Do you know like what her title is?
Yeah, no, she's an Amira as well.
All right. So we'll just call her Amira, mom in brackets, and we'll get to her later. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Booker sends mail to no one because he's sad and old. Okay. All right. Good. So I'll owe you some. I'll owe you some messages from those folks when you arrive. So you are going to be in space, and thank you to chat for giving me a calendar for the year 3200. So you leave on Tuesday, March 21st, which means 7, 14, 13, 12. You will arrive on the Sunday. Oh, you arrive on Sunday. Perfect. You arrive on Church Day, April 2nd. So in between that, you have 12 days in space. What do you guys want to do? Do you have any particular scenes you want to play out? We can kind of like go around and make sure everybody has a chance to have conversations and do that stuff. Unless
Booker
you're
goes
just
in
like, nope,
stasis,
we just skip.
talks to no one. No, I'm just kidding.
Mhm.
I would probably like make myself available for conversation, but I
Mark, you're
also
muted too,
probably
by the way.
wouldn't seek out conversation. I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, I would say Nomi's doing a lot of like researching and kind of like trying to find more information about this
Yeah.
Verona thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, a research project is a great thing to do for the 2 weeks that you have in space.
Cool.
Yeah. Go ahead and make let's have you make a roll. Roll
Yeah.
knowledge and intelligence roll. And this is just you doing your own research as you search through the database you have available. Nice. Okay.
11.
I like this. Chat asks, are 12 days enough to finally get those boots clean? Probably.
Still like, what did she do? Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah. Okay. So so you do some searching, and you're searching for like the term like Verona as a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and then like related to hallucinations of
Right, cross-referencing.
yeah.
You got like a little like medical VI that helps you out. Okay. Well, let's have that scene. Let's do like a little Q&A with your medical VI. So you're in your room and you have your computer. It has a hollow projector and it's projecting an image of the computer's built-in pseudo intelligence that is designed to help you interface with the massive database of info that you have. What does Nomi's like VI helper look like? Like for some people, it looks like Socrates. For others, it's just like a featureless thing. How have you changed yours? Your little medical, your auto doc.
Yeah, I would say Socrates. Would it look like a person? You mean?
Yeah, like an old Greek guy.
Yeah.
Because he's medicine or whatever. It's probably not actually Socrates. Probably like Aeschylus or whatever. But
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, she would have it. Look, I was gonna say like featureless, but she hates synths, so that would be she would be annoyed by that. So I think it looks like a little person. Yeah.
yeah, just like a generic, like a doctor-looking person. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have like the house serpents, like doctors, like outfit, with the little like snake pinning the kind of green like toga. They're see-through and green, and they're only this big. But yeah, they appear on your desk and say, I see you're attempting to perform some research, Cirrus. Can I be of service?
It's Clippy. Yeah.
3,200 years of human evolution, and this is the best we can get.
I'm searching for information related to auditory and visual hallucinations, referencing with the word Verona.
One moment, searching the database. Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't see anything cross-referencing those two terms. I have several entries on both independently.
Show me.
And so some data starts to come up. You see a bunch of different entries, like obviously a lot more stuff coming up on the one side for like hallucination, right? Because there's a lot of historical information about like mental illness, much of which has been like treatable for some time. And there's like treatments for hallucination and the things that might cause it and all that. And that's a big chunk of data. For Verona, mostly you just find like graffiti. It seems to be war correspondence, graffiti on walls in like war zones, showing like big spray painted letters of Verona. You see one that says like homeward Verona, and these are just images that come up. They're from like Prism information. And then the data stops appearing, and the VI says, well, there it is. It's a lot. Would you like me to help you sort it?
Yes. Let's see. I guess I'm not sure what. Trying to figure out what Verona is. Like, is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a planet?
Yeah, you
Is
can
it
you can just ask, right?
Yeah.
Your little VI, and you rolled an 11. So.
Yeah. Okay. So based on the data that we have for the term Verona, is it possible to determine if it's the name of a person or a location or a planet or a system?
From the information that I have available, all I can see is image recognition matches, Arabic lettering, mostly drawn from war correspondence, Prism primarily, some Crux security footage, a handful of redacted deathless files. There is some entry. It's very old, pre-imperial, reference to Verona, a place. Location is unknown.
How old is that entry?
The entry predates the Empire. Specifics are undetailed. Files are corrupt. Unfortunately, Cirrus, much of the pre-imperial database is this way.
Okay. So then I also want to research, disregarding the Verona keyword, specifically looking at reports of hallucinations with practitioners or sufferers of MES who suffer hallucinations despite regular intake of their medication. Are there any reports of that?
Unfortunately, it looks like a relatively common side effect, especially among those using unapproved MES medication. We have several reports from people living on acre planets. It looks like it's tied primarily to telepaths.
From these reports, are there any patients who reported seeing visions of specifically words being written?
Yes, I have several hundred entries.
Oh boy. Is there anything pre-imperial?
Unfortunately, no. Pre-imperial records on MES are superstitious at best.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what else to look for, I guess.
Okay.
All right,
yeah.
now.
So I mean, I think the thing, yeah, we can kind of fade on the scene of Noemi like looking at all of these images, and it's like you're getting all of this stuff at once because you didn't pare it down. So there's all of these like video files of like people in hospitals like talking to doctors about the things that they've seen. So we're seeing a whole bunch of people like dressed in hospital gowns, looking kind of like traumatized, and yeah, and we fade out on that. Cool. Okay. Chaplain, is there anything that you want to do? Anyone you want to talk to while you're on this journey? You're muted there, Chappie.
Thanks. I think there's the two things that like he'd want to do is continue trying to be drinking buddies with Booker, like trying to meet up with Booker for the occasional drink here and there, being drinking buddies. But then also maybe meeting up with Nicola, because like I was the one that kind of got her to stay on board and stuff like that, and kind of implanted the idea of that she can come and talk to me if there's anything going on. So
Okay. Yeah.
I also like the idea of he always sends out like emails to like the crew or like newsletters of like church services. Stop by. We're having a bake sale.
Church newsletters.
Yeah, absolutely.
With like little hologram clip arts on there of like trumpets and angels and shit.
Yeah, he sends those out and is always
Yes.
encouraging people to come down to service on Sunday. And you know, if they need to talk, he's always there. And he's, you know, he does his chaplain thing.
Chaplain's church newsletter. I love it.
Yeah.
That's so good. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, so Hugh, do you want to just be like drinking with Booker? Or do you want to go and find Nicola? Or I mean both? You could we could have a scene that,
yeah, I
that
think
she
like
comes up to you.
well, the Booker one, I don't know. It's up to Max. Like, if there's anything, or whether they just kind of talk about nothing, or
Yeah,
if
it could
at
just
any
be
point they
background
get into a
stuff,
deeper
yeah.
conversation. Like, I don't know if Booker would ever, you know, want to have a more deeper conversation, or whether it's just talking about not a lot of nothing.
What if Booker came to one of your, like on a laugh, Booker came to one of your little bake sale things?
Yeah, I love it.
Like-
I'd love
like
it.
no
It's
one comes?
amazing. I don't know. Does anybody come? I'm excited. Oh, I'm
Yeah, you can
excited.
find out if anybody else comes.
Okay.
Uh,
let's roll. Let's roll to see if anybody shows up to your church. What kind of church event is this? Is this like a ship mixer or like
Yeah,
you know,
it's meant to
what
be
are
like
you-
a little, you know, kind of mixer, get people to come to the chapel, maybe take some pamphlets, have an opportunity to see that it's not like super creepy and weird. You know, it's just a chance. Like maybe there's like a little raffle.
The chaplain is simply portraying a long time honored tradition of the portrayal of the Messiah, right? With the shotgun in one hand
Yeah.
and the Rice Krispie treat in the other.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Cool. Church barbecue.
Oh, and there's obviously, of course, we're playing music from the Grand Voice, you know, the ancient records from the High Church. So Killer Queen is blasting, you know, as people come in. Oh, love this song. such holy music. So yeah,
Okay,
what kind of
all right.
role is that going to be?
How to like orchestrate and draw in people with your religious invitation. Take a look at the skill list here. Could be lead and charisma.
Okay.
I think it's lead. Yeah, lead or administer and charisma.
Okay. Both of them are terrible, so
I feel like if it's over a 6, my
Nice.
character would come. Never mind. I take that back.
Yay! No, you're coming now.
Never mind. I don't want to go to your shitty thing.
I feel like after a certain point, I would come just because there's enough people coming that it's sort of like
You kind of feel you
I would
have
do
to.
that. Well, yeah, because that's
keep up
within my
appearances.
character. Yeah, that's what my character would do, just to like be civil, just, exchange pleasantries, things like that.
So you.
But that was only if you got over a 12. I don't know who said 6. Wasn't me.
So you got a 10, which is a good result. It's an unmitigated success, which means that there is a background noise of people. Lots of people have come to this event, and people are eating and drinking and like hanging out. And is it in the chapel, or have you?
Yeah. No, I think it's in the chapel. That's the whole point. Is I
Okay,
want people
alright.
to come and see it as a normalized place to be.
In
So
God's house.
Right, an alternate to the bar to hang out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what PCs are there? Noemi, did you go to this, or are you like nah, church event?
Yeah, I think Noemi would be curious, and maybe she's been doing so much research that she just needs a reason to leave her room.
Right? Yeah, you're getting a break from. I like how every time
This
anyone
part is
says
called
yes,
"Take
Mark-
Me to Church." That's what this episode part is called. You're welcome.
I'm
JP.
so happy. I'm so happy.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Booker, you go to this event.
Yep. Did not expect this many people were going to be there.
Yeah, and the Amira, are you gonna? Because people get cooped up on a 2-week journey with nothing to do,
No,
right?
it makes sense because
Yeah.
probably most people don't go to this, but there's like nothing to do. So everybody's like, yeah, screw it. We'll go see what the chaplain's up to. What is this about? The chaplain's like, yay, people think God's cool.
Yeah, basically.
Amira,
Just here because I have nothing better to do.
Mhm.
yeah, right. The Amira's eager to be a good team member, so she shows up to support the efforts, and she brings
Amazing.
an incredibly large tray of her grandmother's samosas recipe. So
Why did you
Wonderful.
have to do this to me? I haven't eaten in several hours.
Yeah, why do you guys
Damn
say
you.
that?
Damn you, Bronze. Okay, well let's
I've
see
had
if
a
they're.
cheese
Let's see how
Danish
good.
hours ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Can,
energy drink. So
Can
let's
Nicola
roll
Lyra
to
have
see.
helped me do it, by the way? Like, help me set it all up.
Oh my
and,
god.
Like, she's there.
So here's that's so good. Okay, so if you ask Nicola in advance to help you decorate.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so what we walk into is like halfway between like church barbecue and then also like the haunted mansion at Disneyland, because she's there's like it's like Halloween decorations. Like there's a big like spider in one corner and like some webs, and she's just like, "What? This is what I had around." So it's like it's the beginning of April, and there's like weird Halloween decorations and blacklight and
Have you guys
and-
seen,
but also church stuff. So it's like a
Yeah.
Santeria temple, right? Like she's
Yeah.
painted one of the icons with like a skull on her face, and like it's good.
Great. I mean, do you remember the scene in Hot Fuzz where they go to the church fete? Like, that's exactly what this is. Like, there's little stands and games and like people selling cakes.
Games?
Like, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
so good. Like, yeah, we see a bunch of the Marines or whatever, the troops playing that game where you throw the beanbag into the hole on the wooden
Yep.
board.
Cornhole.
Like,
Yep.
Cornhole,
yeah, but it's like a hologram
Or
cornhole.
Bago.
Nice.
There's a Splat the Synth where it's like a little synth that like shoots down a tube and you have to whack it when it falls through.
That's going into the wiki. That's going into the wiki. Who made it?
Splat the Synth.
This
When was
is
it
so
invented?
It's an old traditional game.
What company made it?
Yeah. So what I love this too. House Lyra are the descendants of the Addams family. That's not far gone. Like Nicola and Wednesday Addams probably have a fair bit in common. So yeah, we fade in on this party that it looks like it's like a weird Day of the Dead church Halloween thing. But people seem to be having a pretty good time so far. There's there's a positive energy in the air. And we see all of you here. Let's see how these samosas are. Amira, you don't make them yourself. You tell your
Oh no, this is a family
servant to
guarded
make them?
recipe.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
she's
right.
allowed to assist, but I mix the filling myself because I cannot allow this to fall into peasantry's hands.
Okay, well let's have you roll. Let's have you roll,
Oh, God.
and you'll get a +1 from your assistant.
I feel like if I fail, this should just be way too spicy.
Yeah, right. You forgot to make them white people spicy, and no one can handle it. Okay, cool. Let's have you make what's like maybe a work roll or a perform roll. Either one is good with dexterity.
Okay. I have the same skill in both.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. They're a little too spicy, but for the people that matter, that's impressive. They're like, wow, good. I'll know for next time. Cool. Okay. I didn't expect this, but this is a great scene. I love it. All right.
I love it.
So this is happening. Everybody, there's the majority of the people are here at this party, and if you want to like call on an NPC or whatever, you can. Nicola is standing at the back with like kind of a glowing like purple drink, and is just like looking through her like lace veil at everybody and like hoping everyone's having a really nice time, but being too nervous to ask anybody if they're enjoying themselves.
She's like April from Parks and Rec as well. I love it.
What? Yeah, right.
I'm
What
like
do
sitting
you,
here debating how much Havoc I want to read because I'm like, I wonder
Right?
if because of her like just stellar performance on our last mission, if I would invite Arnahan to come with me and help me carry my tray of samosas.
All are welcome. The newsletter said everybody welcome.
Just because I'd like to throw Arnahan and Booker in the same room just for the shit
I mean, they're
show.
all there. Like you can literally just say like, oh, I go over to talk to this person. Like they're around. Yeah.
Oh,
So I definitely come
yeah, like,
around. Oh, God.
Yeah, Chaplain, who are you? It's your party. We get the nice like establishing shot of everything that's going on. We get a couple of like NPCs in the background, and we land on you. Who are you talking to, and what's going on?
I think the chaplain is in full host mode, so he's going around making sure everybody's fine, having a good time. Like maybe he's got a few people helping him, but seeing like the Amira and Booker and Noemi come in, like he's obviously very happy. He probably goes over to Amira and it's like, oh, thank you so much, Amira. And he takes like the samosas and like puts them with all the other food, and you know he's very obviously like shakes hands and is like, please come and enjoy yourself, and then goes up to everybody else and is very surprised to see Booker.
Yeah, when you see Booker, what's Booker
yeah,
doing?
what's Booker doing?
Booker literally
chaplain
walks
sees
in. You see him when he walks in. He like walks in expecting no one to be here. And that's why he's coming. And he's just like, and he turns away and like starts to walk
Agent
away.
Graves! Like I'll call out
Like,
probably as I say,
Oh.
like Agent Graves, I'm so pleased that you came. I did not expect to see you here. It's wonderful. It'll be thank you so much.
Hey there, Chaplain. Is there
Quite a few
always this many people that come to these things? I'm surprised.
I think most people are here for the party atmosphere rather than the sermons. But people seem to be enjoying themselves, and ultimately, I wanted to try and dispel this illusion of the chapel as some dreary place to come and speak about God. It is a place to lighten your burdens. So we have some of the soldiers are enjoying games. We have much food. Nicola of Lyra has provided many of the decorations. Please come in, speak with people. It will do good for you to spend some time with us. I'm so pleased to see you, Agent Graves. It is genuinely quite an honor. I'm so pleased. And then I will also probably. I just say like I probably
Booker,
whisper to
while you're talking to the chaplain, some part of your mind flashes back to the ballroom of the sad song Say So Much, and you remember the chaplain like kicking a man in the chest and then shooting him with a shotgun. Like he's smiling and nodding, and you're just like, I've seen this man murder people in cold blood on a spaceship. So cool.
Yep. I'll whisper into Booker. I'll be like, and also perhaps if you stick around, I can break out some of the sacred wine to share with a few trusted people of the team.
Now you're starting to speak my language.
I thought I might. Please come, enjoy yourself. I'll gesture to everybody to gesture everything else. I think you'll be very good at Splat the Synth.
So when you bring Booker in, and you hear a voice, you hear a woman's voice say, Booker, and you look over and you see she's still in her flight suit. They were probably running drills. You see the Aquilin that you were acquainted with earlier, and she's got an object. She's got a drink in one hand and a beanbag in the other, and she's standing next to this hollow board with a bunch of other members of the team. And she looks at you and she's like, "Come here."
What? You want?
And she
What are you
gestures,
doing?
and you come over.
Booker comes
She
over. and
She
is like,
gives you her drink. She just like puts her drink in your hand, and she's like, "Me and some of these assholes are playing this stupid game. I thought it was stupid, but now I can't stop fucking playing it." And she turns and she like eyeballs the thing, and she's like, "You put this thing in one of those things, and you get points. And these assholes, they keep beating me. So I figure," and then she hucks you the beanbag, and she's like, "I figured I'd even the playing field. Well, like, come on, let's do two versus two. Me and you and those idiots."
Can't be
She
that
looks at you
hard.
for a moment, and for a moment, the look on her face is like, "Please don't reject me in front of my friends."
Yeah, Booker catches that. He like, so what do you do now?
And so she points, and you're like, 2 meters away or whatever, and she's like,
Uh-huh.
"You just throw that thing over there at the hole, the good one. They're worth different amounts of points, and you can see it's a board, but it's glowing. There's like a hollow projector, and it shows the point values of each like hole."
Yeah. Booker's like, all right. He gets ready to go.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see how you do. Let's see if you and team.
Don't make me
team
look stupid, Adam.
Aquila lady. So she's gonna help you, but you're a PC, so you got to make the roll.
Right. Yeah, I gotta make the roll.
So she gives you a +1, so you can make a dexterity and shoot roll. Dexterity and shoot, and let's see.
I got a +2 in this. Come on now. +1. Ah.
Okay, so you got a 9. Now I'll roll for your enemy team and see how they do. Boom. All right. So after a few throws, you pull out a narrow victory, and someone says after you win, your friend like claps you on the back, and she's like, "Ah, see, I knew it." She looks over at her friends, and one of them is like, "Cecilia, we don't want to play this stupid game anymore. I'm going to get a drink." And she's like, "All right, losers," and they walk off. And she turns back to you and makes like small talk with you after having driven her loser friends away. Meanwhile, while that's happening, we cut back to the chaplain who's making the rounds. Who is the next person? Yeah, that was your reward for winning the thing. Now you know her first name. So, chaplain, who's the next person
mark
that you
down on my sheet?
Who's the next person that you interact with? Who do we see you run into next?
Well, I know that the Emira is probably mingling. She's got her samosas. I'll go speak to her in a second. Like, let her kind of be social. If I see Noemi, I'd probably walk up to Noemi and again be kind of mixture of surprised and pleased that she's come along.
So Noemi, what do we see you doing? What is your where are you in the party when the chaplain finds you?
Noemi is standing by the wall, watching and holding a drink and not interacting with anyone.
Okay. I'll clock eyes, make my way over. Probably grab. No, I'll hand those out later. I'll hand out pamphlets later. I'll probably just walk over with a drink in my hand as well, like a little glass of wine or something, and just kind of make my way over. Ceres, I'm so pleased that you came. I did not expect you to come to something like this, but it is very good to see you. Are you well? Are you recovered?
Yes, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I thought that it would be good for me to spend some time with the crew. I've spent the past few days locked up in my room, so
I will take like a sip of the wine and maybe like I'll just kind of lean in and say like, well, forgive me if I am offering some unwanted advice, Cires, but usually you need to go and speak to people to get to know the crew. You seem to be standing here by yourself. If you need me to make any introductions, I am more than happy to do so. People seem to, if I keep throwing events like this, people seem to be taking a liking to me. So if you do need any introductions, I'm more than happy to help.
one does not necessarily need to speak with someone in order to get to know them. There is much to be learned by simply observing.
There is indeed. You are quite right. But, it can be an interesting experience. And I can see at least one other person. I'll probably look over in Nicola's direction, who seems to be having the same sort of problems. But by all means, enjoy. If there's anything you need, I'm more than happy to provide it. And then I'll give a smile and nod and leave. Head off to host elsewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So you continue the tour.
Yeah.
Noemi, do you stay lurking at the back, or do you go out to like talk to anybody or do anything?
No.
Lurking is an activity.
Wanna-
Lurking is a party activity. You can do that.
Yeah, I'm just watching, and if anyone comes up to talk to me, it's not that I don't want to talk to people. It's just I'm enjoying kind of just watching other people interact with each other.
Yeah. Make a notice roll with intelligence or wisdom, depending on which you want to use.
Same.
Yeah, whichever is fine. Just different.
7.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it looks like everybody is having like a reasonably nice time. They're not like no one is here ironically, right? Maybe some people showed up to be like church party, but it seems like they've gotten over that, and now everybody is legitimately enjoying these like dumb fair games and like eating the food and what have you.
The chaplain's so happy.
You see
very
Yancey. You see Yancey standing over by a table, and next to him there's a plate of samosas, and he's like patting his forehead with a handkerchief and like
Finally,
taking, like,
Riley gets her revenge.
he's taking like deep breaths and kind of just like fanning himself a little bit and trying to be subtle about it and just like patting the sweat off of his brow. And
I'm dying.
yeah, and you look around and you see Nicola doing like the exact same thing as you, but like across the room, and you both kind of just like look at each other, and then she like looks the other way as if at something, but just turns to look at the wall like it's suddenly the most interesting thing in the room. But yeah, you kind of like get a good look at everybody that's here, and it seems like everyone is like using this as an opportunity to relax a little bit. And then yeah, Chaplain, you continue your little tour, and you end up where the Amira is.
What's the Amira up to?
Yeah, what are you doing? Are you with your auntie?
No. I'm
Yeah.
actually like having some anxiety because I didn't realize she was gonna be here and she's still not cool with me. So as the chaplain approaches, he probably notices the Amira takes like this really, because everything about the Amira is extra, this really like flashy gold flask with her initials on it, and like hides it really quickly back into her outfit.
Amira, so pleased that you could come. I'm so glad that you could make it to this thing. And thank you so much for bringing the food. Some, it seems to be disagreeing with a few, but many have been enjoying them. So how are you?
Oh, glad to hear it. I'm doing well. I had no idea these things were so popular, but the ship was simply abuzz with talk of your little functions. I wanted to stop by myself and see what it was all about.
Oh, well, your presence is always welcome. You are a shining beacon to the crew, I'm sure. You see, you're a very popular woman yourself, so I'm very pleased that you could come. I'm sure that many came simply on the fact that you would be attending yourself. Yes, I think that this is mainly people having nothing to do, to be quite honest with you, Amira. But if it causes a few people to stop by the chapel now and then I see it as a fortunate victory in my name. So is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything you need? Anyone you need introductions to? Or is there anything I can help with?
pretty skilled at making my own introductions. In fact, if you need help with anything, feel free to reach out.
That is
If you
very
feel
kind.
like someone's not having a good time, I'm pretty good at making small talk with people.
I'll probably like lean in co-conspirately with the Amira and maybe like look over towards Booker. Is Booker still hanging out with Cecilia?
No, I think he's moved on a little bit after that. Like after
Oh,
chatting with her for a little bit, he's just kind of like wandering around.
I'll probably
Kinda
still
aimlessly.
lean in to the Amira and just be like, well, I certainly do not think Agent Greaves needed any help. He was called over by a young Aquillan woman, it seemed. Something I was not aware of. Like
Gossipy priest over here.
Yeah, absolutely he is.
Oh my
And
god. So
of
good.
course, our beloved Ceres seems to be keeping to herself. I'm sure our resident Lyran would love to go and speak to her, but I think she's a little terrified. Perhaps you can offer a little assistance there, but otherwise enjoy the evening. I do not. This is a chance for people to mingle and have fun in God's house. So,
I
obviously
know
for
I may
yourself,
not
Amira-
be a devout attendee at the church, but I am a bit spiritual myself. And although I don't attend church, I respect the church for being a conduit for people to sort of connect with God, even though I don't require such a conduit. I'm always thankful for the services you and your institution provide, Chaplain.
Thank you so much, Amira. You know, I would. You are always welcome to come and discuss. The differences between or the various spiritual matters that you have, and ways that the High Church may feel the same way. I'd be very interested to have these discussions, but let us save that for another time. This is a party after all, not for philosophy debate, but your appreciation
Don't
is
think I
most
haven't
welcome.
spotted those flyers in your hand, Chaplain, but yes, another
I know
time
that
then.
you do not need them. Yes. Good evening, and then I'll back away and leave the Amira to it.
Yeah, and so as you're about to extricate yourself from the conversation with the Amira, you hear the door to the chapel. I guess like the doors on a spaceship auto open and close so that they can like seal if there's a problem with the hull. So before the door opens, you hear it like slide open, and immediately thereafter you hear the sound of several people turning and saluting at the same time. And when you look up, most of the people who are members of the primary crew, and certainly all of the serfs, are like standing in salute. And you look towards the door, and you see a woman. She is pretty tall. I think she's like 6'2", maybe. Tall and lean, very very dark skin. She has long red braids in her hair they fall down behind her back, and they're held in place by like a red like resin. Her hair is not actually red; it's black. And she's wearing her captain's like uniform, so big like epaulets, black uniform. She's got a purple
damn.
sash, and she has her pistol and her saber like at her side. And when she steps into the room, everybody just like shuts up and like salutes. And she kind of like grins and looks back and forth, and she nods gently, and everybody kind of like goes at ease. They return to their like partying, but the atmosphere has shifted dramatically. And yes, it is the captain of the Prudence. Her name is Captain Chiodo, and she is walking towards you, Chaplain.
Oh, I bow very deeply. What an honor.
Okay, yeah. She
What was
walks
the name?
over and
Sorry,
you
Adam.
bow to her. Her name is Captain Chiodo. I don't think you know her first name. Maybe nobody on the ship does.
Yeah,
But,
I will.
Captain is her first name.
Yeah, I'm not military, so I wouldn't probably salute, but I'd probably bow very, very deeply as she approaches.
Okay.
And let her make the first.
Yeah, and she's got her staff around her. She's got like a half dozen orbiting serfs that that attend to her. And how tall are you?
How tall is Keanu Reeves? That tall.
The internet will know. How tall is Keanu Reeves? Oh, it specifies in feet. Keanu Reeves is 6'1".
There you go.
Six
He's
feet,
6'1".
All right, so you're She's an inch taller than you, so she looks basically like
Wow. Okay.
you. So you bow, and she smiles, and she says, "I have to tell you, Captain, I am surprised. There are so many people here. I was wondering where my crew had gone."
My deepest apologies for taking your crew away, Captain. I had not quite anticipated the evening to be as busy as it has been myself, but it is not unwelcome. I'm glad that people can feel that the chapel is a safe place for them to come and make a deeper connection with spiritual matters, as well as mingle amongst with their co-workers and their crewmates, and build those relationships that I know are so important aboard a ship like this. And I am greatly honored by your presence. Thank you so much for coming. It is quite the honor to have you here.
Fraternization is a delicate balance. Not enough, and people cannot trust each other. Too much, and they become familiar. I think that your church gives us a good opportunity for some safe fraternization.
We are here to help and to serve the noble families and, of course, deliver the Emperor's will. And if I can be of such a service to you, Captain, then I am greatly honored by these kind words. Please, and I will quickly head back behind the altar and bring out one of the high church wines and say, I would love to offer you a bottle of this as a thank you for allowing stopping by today.
She puts a hand up sort of to stop you, and she says, "I do not wish to offend you, Chaplain. I do not drink.
Then perhaps you would do
clear head.
Then perhaps you would do the honors of at least opening it so that some of the others who are not on duty could share. That would still be quite the honor for all of us here."
And she looks around. You can see her kind of like weighing it. Like it's maybe a little too familiar. Let's see if you can convince her. We'll
Okay.
talk in charisma.
Probably not. Nope.
Okay. All right. So she says, "I will leave the rituals to you, Chaplain."
On my head.
And she looks over at Booker. And actually, I guess Kieran, you were near the Chaplain. You had an opportunity to slip away. Would you like to have stayed, or?
I'd probably still be around. Also, especially
Okay.
since this is my first time seeing her. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's kind of impressive. I don't know how anyone could tear themselves away from that. 6'2" with red resin in her. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she makes eye contact, I'm immediately looking away though, like I wasn't staring.
Yeah. So she looks at you. She's got these like piercing, like dark brown, like almost black, like eyes. And she looks at you and she says, "This must be our second Emira. How are you finding your time on the Prudence?"
Lovely. Thank you. It is such an honor to meet your acquaintance. I've heard so much about you, but I believe this is the first time we are meeting. And I'll like drop her a quick little curtsy.
She says, "I'm familiar with your file. I have had to turn down many marriage offers myself, sometimes forcefully." And she like adjusts her like gun belt a little bit. And she says, "I have made my choice. I am married to this ship." She grins, and her teeth are like so white, mostly because her skin is so black, right? So she grins, and it's like, yeah, brilliant and brief.
The Emira smiles back and she's just like, I have heard many stories about you, and may I just say, you are truly an inspiration for those of us women who have a little bit higher aspirations other than marital ones.
And she nods, and she says, "Well, if you find a match, I hope it is as good one for you as this ship has been for me. Now, Emira,
One can only hope. Thank you.
If you will excuse me."
I like her a lot.
Do you say that to the chaplain as she's walking away?
Yes. I'm gonna
Yeah.
whisper
So
it to the
her-
chaplain.
So when she turns to walk away, like you again, like her servants are immaculate. They vanish when she doesn't need them, and then when she's like, "I'm moving," they. So one of them is like holding her. She's got this like purple like cape that she wears, and one of them is just like holding it off the ground for her, and you didn't even notice him before, and now he's just like there. And her and the six like servants turn to go and talk to somebody else, leaving you and Valencio.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I'll
like
just,
kind of like nudge him and be like, "What a magical creature!
she
She's
is
so
quite
tall
she
and
is quite the
impressive.
impressive figure. Mm.
When I
Yeah.
grow up, I want to be just like her."
I'm sure that if you have such aspirations, Amira, that you will meet them. And I'll hand. I can't remember if the Amira drinks, but I will offer to pour a glass of wine because Valencio is having one. He's like,
Of course. Yeah. I like how one of us is like nervous and the other one is like, "Senpai."
Yeah. So we follow her across the room. Yancey like salutes her as she walks by, and she gives him like a little nod. The Richter is not like here, so we don't see their relationship, but everybody looks at her with like respect or reverence. You don't, and Nomi, because you're surveying the crowd. I think of everybody here, you've met the captain before, Nomi. I think that you and her have like had at least one conversation, like private conversation in the past. Do you remember what was that conversation about? What did you have to talk to the captain about yourself, like personally? Which I know puts you on the spot, but I'm curious.
I would think like maybe when Nomi was first joining kind of the crew, probably talking about her particular skills and how she planned to be an asset to the ship, because she's not like really military. So I guess kind of just like describing herself and her abilities and how she can assist.
Okay, so there was like an interview. Cool.
Yeah, it was
Okay, yeah.
probably
So
like a
you
post. Like she was
recalled that.
already, like already going to be on the ship, but she was just like getting to know her.
Yeah. Cool. I like that. Yeah. So you recall that conversation.
Mhm.
And and she walks across the room to where you are, Booker. What are you doing when she comes over?
Dealing with the mimosa, or not the mimosa, the samosa that he put into. Like,
You got a mimosa in one hand and a samosa in the other.
yeah,
yes.
he like sets it down and puts it in a napkin and like next to him, like on a table or whatever. He's just trying to like gather himself, and then he like sees her coming. He's like regards her, just gives her like a nod, like.
Yeah. She smirks, not enough to show teeth, but she smirks a little, and she says, "You're enjoying the food, Officer Grieve."
Just before I respond, has Booker met her before? I would imagine he probably has.
Yeah,
Or
like
did
I
not,
don't know if you've
know.
interacted with her. I don't know if you've interacted with her directly because you're the Richter's man, right? Like,
Right, yeah,
so
exactly.
he would have dealt with her, and occasionally he'll be like, "I have an order, and it's straight from the captain." But
Yeah.
I don't think you'd ever have a reason to talk to her directly.
Captain, trying to. Delicious, but it's goddamn spicy.
She scoffs slightly, and she says, "I wanted you to know, officer. I had a hand in having you return to this ship. Some people did not think that you belonged here, that you were destined for other work. I chose to have you return to your position."
Booker gives like kind of absorbs that information and gives like a little soft nod. Thank you, Captain. Very
Do
much
not
appreciated.
thank me. Yes, she says, "Do not thank me. Time will tell whether this is a favor or a punishment. But I think that you will be useful to us in the future. Do not prove me wrong. This mission on Berkman, I need men like you, Booker Greaves. Do you understand?
Perfectly clear.
Good. Enjoy your samosa. And she turns and walks away.
Yeah, Booker like looks at the samosa and she's like, it's not happening.
Okay, all right. So she walks back to the entrance to the chapel. She's kind of done the rounds, and she knows that if people are going to have a good time, she has to leave. And I think Noemi, unless you like step up to talk to her, she knows you well enough to know that like if you have something to say, you'll come to her. She doesn't need to go and check on you or anything.
Yeah.
But do you?
No. I just, kind of watch as she interacts with everyone else and then let her leave.
Yeah. Yeah, and she'll put her appearance puts the party on pause. And then she comes to the door, she nods her head sort of to the room and says quietly but loudly enough that everyone can hear her, because as soon as she opens her mouth, everybody like quiets down. She says, "Thank you, everyone. Please enjoy." And she walks out, and her servants follow along, and the door shuts, and then everybody can like breathe again, and the tenor of the party changes, and people kind of like, yeah, she gives them the carry on order, and everybody kind of like sighs and is able to return to business. So yeah, I mean, I think that the party continues until the chaplain, if you have like a thing you want to do to introduce everybody to the religious aspect of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah.
I think it would be like near the end of the evening. He would basically do a little speech, kind of saying something along the lines of, thank you all so much for coming. I hope that you have learned that the chapel is not a place that you need to avoid. There is nothing to be afraid of here. This is a place for us to come together, to speak as individuals, to open up ourselves to not just God, but to each other. I am here if you wish to speak with me. I am more than happy to be discreet and to discuss anything that may be on your mind, if you may have doubts or questions. But I do not wish this to be a sermon. This has been a very wonderful evening. I am very grateful for you all coming. Please, if you ever wish to come in again, you are all welcome in this house. And then I will stand by the door and give out pamphlets.
Yeah, let's see how that goes. Make a perform check with charisma.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
I really need to
perform
boost my
check.
charisma.
I mean, this part of being
Nope.
Okay, all right. So
It's
your
like a
heart's in the right
murder
place.
Yeah, that's the
your
problem.
heart is in the right place, but everybody's like, "Oh man, he's harsh in the vibe. Man, he's harsh in the vibe." Like, because everybody's like, "Yeah, this is a fun party." Oh, it's a party at a church.
Yeah, now it's like pamphlet time.
Time to pray. Yeah. So it's just like everybody's kind of like, "Oh man, Chaplain, we were having a great time." You don't ruin it, but like, they can make a joke out of it, and that part doesn't sink in. So you're right. He's probably drunk on church wine.
Probably am, to be fair.
Yeah. You're like, listen, God's real. Let me show you. I can do cool tricks.
Take a pamphlet. Take a pamphlet.
Please, my friend, please take some of these pamphlets. Yay! See.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So the party continues, and I think not too much longer after Chaplain Valencio turns on the church. People start to head back to their quarters. They return to duty, having been blessed by the new chaplain.
And blessings.
Is there anything anybody else wants to do? Anybody you want to corner at the party as it's starting to wind down?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. The Amira, kind of passes out like these like little notices, like these little notes on like fancy, like paper with a gold border on the side. And she's like handwritten them and she hands them out to the chaplain, Booker, and Noemi. And it's just like, if you like, and it says like in kind of like really casual, like not her Amira-esque self, she asks everyone to hang back for 5 minutes after everyone leaves.
Do you deliver these personally, or is this the work of I don't know.
This is
I'm
the
trying to
work
think
of
an
Amelia.
an E name. Yeah, Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So yeah, at some point during the party, each of you is presented this card by the personal server of the Amira, asking you like at your leisure if you would please stay afterwards.
Please say.
I ain't going
Okay.
nowhere.
All right.
Booker's just kind of more stays out of curiosity,
Yeah.
and also
Okay,
since
right,
she's
sure.
on his team.
Yay.
So things are winding down, and I think I don't know. You can help me because the ship has it has like an elder chaplain already, right? Chaplain D'Souza. Is he because I think we talked about him like maybe having like ailing health. Did we leave him behind? Did he return to Hyra? Like, are you the ship's chaplain now?
I mean, I could be.
I think it's a good time as any, right? Like leave him on the homeworld.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's like, we were waiting until he could get to his home world and he got moved off.
Screw that old bastard. You're the chaplain now.
I'm the chaplain.
Yeah. I mean, he
one of the
retired,
lowest
right?
ranks
Like,
they can be. Yeah.
You're the
okay,
chaplain
so that means
rocks.
that you report directly
chaplain.
to the Richter now.
Okay.
In matters of like ship, church,
Ship
stuff.
faith. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Good to know. All right. So so it's just you and the other three PCs when we see that happen. So it's quiet. There's still like streamers and stuff. Maybe Nicola is in the background, like taking down her own personal stuff. She's like putting away some like lace skulls in a box.
Thank you so much for staying back. I just wanted to toast to all of you as well as our last successful mission. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but in my family, we say that family is crew and crew is family. So I thought we could maybe do a bit of a team building exercise. Just the four of us.
That's when Booker leaves.
Really?
I would probably, like, if I see Booker go, I'm like, Agent Greaves, where are you going?
I'm gonna stand here with my arms out, and you close your eyes and fall backwards.
Booker stops for a second. She's like, "What did you have in mind?"
Yes, Amira, what was you thinking? A toast?
Oh, just, a round of shots and maybe a friendly game of cornhole. Figured maybe we
Space
could
cornhole.
split off into pairs. I'm sorry if I've
That was
offended
smart.
you in some way, Officer Greaves.
Not offended. I've already played some games earlier. I have a quota that I meet. And once I've met it, I can't play anymore. So, shots, yes. Drunken cornhole, maybe.
Well, that is not a no. We must have hope where we can find it, Amira. And what of yourself, Cirrus? Would you like to stay around for a quick drink and perhaps a game?
I think that I have had my fill of the alcohol, but perhaps you can explain this cornhole to me.
Yes, it's a bit of a strange game, but yes, wonderful. Thank you, Amira. This is a wonderful idea. I'm very pleased to be working with you. I know that the last mission was quite dangerous, but I felt that we worked quite well as a team, and I'm glad that you have done this, Amira. So, and then I'll be like, Nicola, it's fine. You can leave if you need to. You don't need to clear this up. It's fine. I will.
Yeah, and she looks up and she's got her arms full of like fake spider webs, and she just looks at you through her like veil and just drops them all on the floor and just like backs out of the room.
She's so weird. I love her so much.
So awkward.
I love
Like
it.
she was
I love
just in the background doing her own thing, and as soon as you looked at her, she was like, okay, and just like drops them and like
and then leaves.
Homer Simpson's back out of the room. Yep, she's gone.
Okay. Yep. Well,
She
that's
is
a
a
great
strange
exit.
one.
Mhm.
Yes.
But she has a good heart, it would seem. But she is a
Very-
strange one.
Yes, she is perhaps for a culture attaché. She is not particularly well versed in dealing with people, it seems. But yes, and then I'll go gather some bean bags.
Okay, awesome. All right. So you go over and you boot up the cornhole machine. It's been turned off. You boot it up, and the acre logo appears, and then transforms into a friendly looking corn that like waves at you, and then offers to sell you like the advanced hollow package, and then you wave him away, and he fades. Yeah, and so you see the board and it's
voiceover with it.
yeah. So the board begins to glow, and you pick up your acre brand official cornhole bean bags, and and like are just casually like having drinks and playing this game in the empty church.
Yeah. Who's on what team though? Is this
Yeah, how
Booker
do
and
you-
Noemi
how do you
versus
set up the
Amira
team?
and Valencio?
I
I'll
have an
leave
idea.
it to Amira. Yeah, go on.
The Amira pulls out, what would she have on her person? I'm trying to think here how she would do this. She wouldn't have a coin. So that would be the easiest way, right? So if she had a
Yeah.
coin, but she wouldn't have a coin. Are
Yeah,
there
you
any
could.
straws around? Like in
Yeah.
various drinks? Okay.
Yeah.
She grabs 4 straws and then turns around. She always has her knife on her knife and her gitbon. She has them both. She takes her knife and cuts 2 short and then hides them in her hand. And she just says like shorts versus longs.
Seems an even way
She
to do
has
it.
she has everyone like draw a straw.
Okay.
So
Alright.
Space Master. What teams are we on?
Well, I mean, you can roll, right? I guess the thing is though, is there's no way to make dice like that lose their values. I don't know how to randomize this using like a dice. I guess like
You could do evens and odds. I was gonna say, yeah,
like roll a
evens and odds.
D2 or whatever.
Or
Yeah, okay.
Can we do
if
like
you get one or two.
D2? Yeah, there you go.
And if we have too many, whatever, somebody will just reroll.
Yeah. So who's
Or
the
just
first
start
person to
Yeah.
Who's the first person to draw?
I do.
like-
Booker's like, whatever,
that-
just do it.
I like the snarky remark in chat because this is important. Fuck you, it is important.
It is important.
I am having a great time. Stop trying to ruin it. Okay, yeah. Roll a D2, and that's a 2 is a long straw. Whoever draws
There's
first, and then
There's no social RP for a spaceship. It's always just on mission and bad things
right.
and drama. Okay.
Yep. All right, so Booker gets a long straw. Who's Booker's teammate? Who's the next person to draw?
Go on, Amira. Or Noemi.
I'll go.
All right, there you go. It's Booker and
Yes.
Oh man,
Yes, fate is
so
decided.
right. So
Booker
Booker,
looks
you
like-
draw the long.
Yeah.
You draw the long straw, and then the Amira turns to Noemi. And Noemi, you draw the long straw. We get this moment. The two of you just like look at each other, holding these straws.
No. When that happens, Booker looks at Nomi's like, "Welcome to the team."
I just kind of give him like a brief nod and a smile. And then I look kind of at the machine and I say, so this game, how does it work?
Well, there are various holes based on the board. Each one is worth different amounts of points based on their distance and angle of difficulty. The team with the highest points will go sequentially. Perhaps we go first or you go first, and then whoever gets the high score wins. If you do want to make it interesting, I'm not sure what bets or gambles we could make, but if you did want to make things interesting.
Yeah, what's great is you're all a bunch of nobles, and so really, like, you're incredibly rich, all of you. So, like, what could we bet? I don't know. I have a house on Hyra. I guess I could just throw in there. Yeah.
Mm,
Well, I have some pretty good whiskey in my quarters. Outside of that, I don't. Unless you can come up with something better, Chaplain.
You know, I can't actually think of anything myself. I can't think of
Yeah, the
anything.
Yeah, the chaplain's cheeks are a little rosier than usual. He's slurring his words a little bit.
Love it. 100% in.
The
Yeah.
Amira chuckles kind of in a mean-spirited fashion, and she's just like, how about whoever gets the lowest score on either team has to ask that awkward creature out on a date.
Poor Nicola.
I think
think
Booker and Noemi both look at each other like, no.
I think the chaplain is also like, I think that is perhaps a very not the best way to describe a member of the crew, Amira.
I was just joking. I've had a
Oh my
little
God,
bit, maybe
was it
too much of your
team
church
building
wine.
exercise?
It's all in good spirited fun, Officer Greaves.
The booze it
I'm
is.
just having a little joke.
Very well. A bottle of the finest from the Just Desserts versus Booker's personal bottle, then.
All right, good.
If I win,
so let's see
then I
who.
just get to drink it by myself. And won't that
That's
flex?
right, and you get an extra one. Yeah. All right. Well, let's
Sure.
see which team wins. It's going to be an opposed dex and shoot roll.
Okay.
And I think the best way to do this is that one person does the roll and their teammate helps. So
Okay.
we'll do the helpers first. So who
Amira,
on
would you
each
help,
team?
please?
Yeah, it seems like it's the chaplain and Booker probably are the ones that have shoot
Yeah.
trained. So
So shoot with
yeah,
dexterity.
don't do it yet though, because Noemi and Kiran are going to help with the same skill.
Okay. So do I just roll shoot dex?
Yeah, roll shoot as a skill.
6.
Noemi is not much help, unfortunately.
Not good
Could
at
be
shooting.
worse.
Neither
Aha!
is Kiran. All right, so you're on your own. Sorry,
I
you
like
had
to
a
think-
question in.
I like to think that. Go on, Anne. Sorry.
You
I wasn't
didn't have a
saying
question?
anything.
Okay, all right.
No.
Okay.
I like to think that like when it's kind of Booker versus the chaplain, and because they're both kind of the gunfighters, there's a spark of competitiveness in the chaplain. Like he's like, I'm gonna score points.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The,
Cool. Okay.
yeah,
So
Do you want me to
it
go?
gets a little serious at the end.
Okay.
all right.
Okay. All right. So just roll your shooting dex. Ooh, got 11 for Booker. Whoa! All right, team Cirrus Booker. You guys won. Good job. And like by a fair bit too. Now the chaplain. The chaplain
It's like
didn't
a little
fail,
explosion.
so you don't embarrass yourself. You look good. But yeah, the last one goes through the thing, and Corny, the acre mascot, appears and is cheering, and there's little like sparks coming off of him, and he displays in his hands like the point totals. Little acre jingle plays, and then the machine goes back into the like, would you like to play again? Screen, and yeah, Booker, you've won. What do you do?
Booker, yeah, he nails it, and then he's just like, there's like a shot of whiskey right next to him. A good party, chaplain.
And then you
You're
leave.
quite
You just
good at
walk
this,
out?
Officer Greaves.
Hand-eye coordination. That's all it is.
I bow to the
good
superior
too.
marksman.
It's the whiskey. I'm just more conditioned.
Clearly. Well, thank you all so much. I must return to bed. I am likely to not be up in the morning, so if you have any urgent spiritual needs, please wait until midday. Good night. Stumble.
That's awesome. If you need somebody to help you pray, come back later.
Yeah.
Okay. The chaplain stumbles back into his quarters, which are like attached. You've been moved into the chaplain's quarters.
Yeah.
So you all you have to do is like stumble out of the main room and into your side through your office and into your bed. Okay. All right. So the chaplain leaves.
As that happens, and Booker's like, well, Amira, that was actually pretty fun.
Thank you so much for agreeing. I know sometimes these things can be a little bit uncomfortable, but thank you for entertaining my weird little idea.
Then Booker looks at Nomi and is like, well done, too. Ma'am, And then he gives her like a respectful nod and then leaves.
Cool.
It's clear he's a little inebriated and he's reeling it in.
Noemi is very sober, but she looks at
Yes.
the Amira as well and says, yes, thank you. This was a good idea. I appreciate you showing me this cornhole. And then I go to like also leave.
That's such an awkward way of saying it.
It's so good too. Like every time Nomi has to like straight face like Data from Star Trek say that word, it's so good. It's so perfect. Okay. All right. So Nomi, you leave, and then Kiran, you I guess everybody heads off to their rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So we fade out on that scene, and we fade in on Booker walking through the hallways of the Prudence, and you were headed from the lift back to your quarters. I assume, Booker.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as you walk by one of the side corridors, you feel someone grab you. You feel like someone like lunges out of the side hallway and grab you and pulls you into the side corridor. What do you do?
Responds by trying to counter and pin them to the ground with their throat under his elbow.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, let's make an opposed roll. Somebody leaps out and grabs you. I'll roll for this person. And they've got. I think they're trained in this skill. Actually, I know that they are. And for you, it'll be. I think exert is the like wrestling skill. So strength, and exert.
Okay.
Okay, you got a 7. I got a.
Oh my god, Adam!
Wow.
Boxcar.
So
God tier.
So
Come
here's what
on.
happens. You feel someone grab you, and you're like, oh shit, like, and your combat instincts kick in, but you're a little tipsy. You maybe don't respond quickly enough. You feel someone hook their leg under your knee and like tip you off balance, pull you into the corner and slam you like hard against the wall. Your vision swims for a second, and then you realize you're pinned to the wall. Someone's got their like one hand on your arm, one hand with their like forearm, like not against your throat, like trying to knock you out, but like just like against your sternum, pinning you to the wall. And this person is quite a bit shorter than you. And you look down and you see Cecilia, and she's grinning, and she's like, "I thought you were never gonna leave that stupid party." And then she kisses you, and then we fade to black.
Damn, they probably break bed frames and shit. I don't know what kind of kinky this they're into.
At least she waited till he was out of the chapel. Jeez.
Yeah, she was just hanging around waiting for you.
The chaplain shudders for a
Basically,
moment.
it's Jessica Jones and Luke Cage from season 1 of Jessica Jones.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's kind
Yep. Yeah, totally. Cool. Yeah. So she lunges out and grabs you, and then we fade out and we roll credits. So that'll do it for today's episode. Before we do shoutouts though, let's check on the XP. Let's see if anybody got their goals. So
Not even
Nomi,
kind
you're
of.
still working on yours. Yeah. You've got some progress, but haven't got it yet. You can continue to search, or you can write a new goal for next time. Kiran, you decided to not take action on the STO thing, so you finished your goal. You made a decision on that, so you get a point of experience. Valencio, you got yours. You didn't do it securely, but you think you did, and that's sufficient.
Yeah.
So you get the XP.
That's a
And then
level up for
Booker,
me.
I think you set Arnahan straight. You told Booker, or you told Arnahan what was up. So you can
Darn
put that XP
tootin'.
too. Yeah.
Darn
Maybe more
tootin'.
complicated than you thought it would be, but it worked out. Worked out one way or another. Cool.
Pissed her off.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, well, she's angry about something, but you didn't get the impression that she was angry like at you necessarily. Like there's something going on with her there, and it just went over your head. So yeah. Cool.
I'm sure it'll come up
All
again.
right. Yeah.
This was like the jokey episode between episodes, you know? how every
Right,
show
the space
has
travel
that.
episode.
Yeah, where they have like, kind of like
Starts
a
off with the spook.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like that episode
listen.
of Cowboy Bebop where there's that thing in the fridge and it's like the joke. This was that thing in the fridge episode with the
Mhm.
pudding
Yeah.
that Ed eats. Yeah, everybody knows that episode. This was that.
Yeah.
Should I do
It
level
can't
up
be-
next
it
time?
can't be-
Adam?
Oh, go ahead.
It can't be war against the Borg every time. Did
That's
you
true.
did you level up, Chaplain?
Yeah, I got 3. Yeah.
Okay. You can do everything except rolling your hit points, and we'll do that at the beginning of the next time. So like, figure out if you want to spend your skill points, if you get a focus or whatever. Like, just do that stuff, and then if you want to roll for hit points at the beginning of the next session, we'll do it then.
That makes sense.
Sound good? Okay. Cool. All right.
Sounds
Well, let's do some
good.
shout outs, and then we'll go and record our post show. Noemi, AnneMunition, you want to start us off?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm very curious to see how things progress with all the characters, really. I feel like this episode was really, which we'll talk about in the post show, but I'm interested. So I normally stream after this. I think tonight I might not. I don't know. Just follow me on Twitter, which is the same name as here, twitter.com/AnneMunition, and I will let you guys know. And otherwise, I'll just see you next week. Well, for Verona. Anyways, I stream every day. Goodbye. Please talk to someone else. I don't know.
Max, would you like to follow up?
Yeah. My name is Max. Hi. I'm nervous. No, I'm actually sadly not going to be here for the post show. Because I have
That's right.
little previous engagement thing that I got to basically flip on the stream for. So if you want to watch me play some more Spider-Man, I'm going to be doing that right after this. But thoughts on the episode real quick? Yeah, that was interesting. Booker's he's got a little romantic fling. It was pretty neat seeing Noemi and Booker get paired up there, and maybe a little bit of like, hey, we're cool, a little bit, kind of, Booker saying that he's not completely pissed off right now in this moment. So that was kind of neat. I like these episodes where there's a lot of social RP and stuff like that. But if you liked it, keep watching the show, keep following it. Thanks to everybody, my castmates, and also Adam for doing his thing. And we'll see you next time. Sorry, I can't be on the post show. Sorry.
It's okay. I assume that you would have said that it was a good episode. You didn't have any complaints, and that it was fine.
No complaints.
No complaints. Bronze, how about you? What's your deal?
Hi, hello. I'm ThatBronzegirl. Yeah, no, today I was just I was a reaper of chaos, and I'm completely okay with that. I'm a full-time variety streamer. You can find me early in the morning, like 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch and in various other places around stuff. So I guess, I don't know, follow me on Twitter. Today is awkward sign-off day for everyone here. Hello, hi.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Last but not least, the social event of the season. It's church boy. Mark, what's your deal?
Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. That was a great episode. That last bit, I had such a blast with that. That was so dumb and funny. I loved it. Thanks for watching. You can check me out. My main thing that I do is I do a D&D show called High Rollers. You can, if you go and check out at High Rollers D&D, that's the Twitter account. We link to all our shows, but generally it's always on a Sunday. Homebrew D&D, and then we've also started doing a thing for Wizards of the Coast as part of their Dragon Heist module, kind of similar to what Adam's doing with Roll20, yada yada yada. Great episode, loved it. Can't wait to talk about it. And then that's me
Excellent.
filling out the quota there of the awkward ending.
Perfect. Awkward sign offs from everybody. All right, cool. My name is Adam Coble. I am the space master of this particular escapade. Thank you for watching, everybody, and thanks to the cast for being such a good time and for playing their characters. If you are watching at home, thank you for doing so. You can continue to do this. We do this show on the regular. I don't know if you know. So yeah, tune in for that. You can also find me as the Dungeon Master of Court of Swords, which is another show that I do right here with Amish Mike and some other people. So you can check that out if you like the fantasy D&D. And you can find me on Twitter at skinnyghost or twitch.tv/Adam Coble. I have created a Q&A thread, as I do, for this episode. Go to community.itmeJP.com, and it is the newest thread on there. And ask me questions, and I will answer them, and we can talk about what Nicola's outfits looked like or why cornhole is still a thing in the year 3200. And if you haven't already, I know that the team, I think it was a Trillion operation. The folks on the Discord have made a Berkman 3 bingo. So make sure to go to the Discord and pick up your Berkman 3 bingo card, because when we get to Berkman, there's all kinds of exciting things that you can cross off, and maybe you'll get Berkman bingo. Who knows? Thanks for
Win a
coming, everybody.
prize.
We're gonna go. Yeah, win a prize, exactly. We're gonna go and do our post show, which you can watch if you are a patron of RollPlay. Patreon.com/RollPlay. You can also buy a T-shirt. I'll let JP talk about that. That's enough for me. We're gonna go. See you next time, everybody. Bye.